We love open world games here at gameranx, but we're always looking for new stuff releasing that does things a little bit differently, has a unique spin on things, maybe isn't a sequel. So today we got a bunch of upcoming games that are open world or semi-open world that are trying something new in some way, shape, or form. We got cool games to talk about, so let's just get started right away with number 10. inZOI or inZOI, I don't really know how to say it. This is very early in development if you can't tell on screen here, but essentially, this is like a Sims game from Korea, but you can go anywhere you want and do whatever you want. You're kind of like a god prevailing over these people, and you're controlling them and, you know, engaging with them in their homes and learning and dating and all that, but you can do it out in the real world as well, and it looks like it's going to have some pretty insane graphics. Again, this is early. It's a bit too early to judge this, of course, but a big budget, crazy graphics Sims game with more freedom could absolutely be interesting. And this is from big-time, massive publisher Krafton, who is behind many things, most notably PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which basically prints money still at this point. So I don't know if this game is going to go for like a free-to-play type thing, but we've gotten to see early development looks at character creation, some exploration, building out your house and apartment. But if the freedom aspect of it, like if it really is as open as some of the gameplay has implied, where you can walk around open city streets, that could be pretty cool. There could be some ambition here. Life sim games like The Sims do need more competition, so this is cool to see. Again, it's pretty early on. We don't know when we're gonna see it, but yeah, maybe keep it on your radar if you're into this genre or subgenre. Next, over at number 9, we have Project Mugen. This is from publisher NetEase Games, and we don't know too much about this, to be completely frank. It did make a big splash with a gameplay trailer at Tokyo Game Show in 2023, but this is technically a Chinese development studio, so it's kind of like Chinese animation and cartoon stuff meets open world swinging of Spider-Man, like straight up. It almost looks like a Spider-Man ripoff with the animations and stuff, and I was immediately ready to write it off, but then it's all the other stuff. The game has social elements. It looks like it has running around on the city streets. You kind of have you could steal cars. You can also use this cool like hover motorbike thing. There's a lot more to it with the hack and slashy combat. There's guns, there's swords, there's telekinesis, there's cats, and all of it has a pretty good visual style. Like the city, the lighting, the animation, everything looks really sharp and inspired. There's a lot of like frenetic, cool style to the combat. Special abilities and stuff will trigger with almost like a cool little in-game thing where the character does, it kind of looks like a cutscene. There's also just a good sense of destruction from what we've seen so far in the combat. So again, it's early, we don't know too much about it, but the response has been good so far. The trailers have gotten a lot of views on YouTube, so keep your eyes peeled. It might amount to something cool. Next, over at number 8, we have Enshrouded, which sounds a lot like a bunch of things we've seen before, but it just seems like a good idea. Essentially what it's doing is taking the bones of a good, like real medieval, mystical, fantasy, action RPG, and mashing that together with a survival game, but hopefully not in like a half-assed way, like actual survival elements, and it's playable cooperatively with up to 16 other people. So not too big, not too small. It's set in this really big voxel-based continent, and you're gonna be doing the crafting, the survival stuff, the hunting, but you're also just gonna be doing some good old-fashioned questing. And the combat and everything looks pretty awesome, because from what they've shown off, it's a lot of boss battles and cool destruction. Like you're throwing bombs that are blowing up castle walls and stuff like that. It's like a survival game where you start with basically nothing and you suck, but it looks like as it goes on, it turns into a real action RPG adventure. And that's cool. I mean, Valheim had little elements of that, so we're keeping an eye on Enshrouded. It's from the developers behind Portal Knights, which released a couple years ago, like 2016, 2017, and while that was kind of kiddie, it was absolutely awesome. So they definitely know what they're doing in like the action RPG, sandbox RPG thing. So yeah. Next, over at number 7, we have Europa. Like, if you're tired of just killing and hack and slashing things in games, Europa might be for you. This got shown off at the Game Awards pre-show, and it's kind of like a wholesome open world exploration game. In this world, Jupiter's moon, Europa, has been terraformed by humans into this like idyllic paradise, but the humans aren't here anymore, and you play as this little android guy that's gliding around, exploring this world, and just kind of putting together the pieces and solving the mystery of like what happened to the people here. Who were they? What were they doing? And it looks like it's running on vibes. It's atmosphere, it's fun platforming and traversal and exploration more than just killing and grinding. If you play a lot of games, every once in a while you need something like this, just a breath of fresh air, something completely different. Also, in terms of completely different, just the art style, the setting looks wholly unique. There is a demo available now if you want to check it out. The game does seem pretty gorgeous. The actual release date as of right now is slated for spring. It's April 2024. Next, over at number 6, we have Black Myth Wukong, which isn't brand new. It was revealed a while back, but it's finally dropping some point in 2024. And this is technically more of a Souls-like inspired game with a cool twist. Now, we don't know exactly how open it is. It does look pretty wide open from the videos and gameplay we've seen, but the most unique hook on this game is the fact that it is based on the classical 16th century Chinese novel Journey to the West. It is an absolutely massive classical work throughout the world. I don't know too much about it. I do think Chinese mythology is a good setting for a game, especially when it goes all in on the fantasy. I mean, you're basically playing as a monkey guy. Judging from the new trailer, it looks like this game is just a hell of an adventure. We're excited to finally get our hands on it and check it out when it releases August 20th, 2024. Next, over at number 5, we have DokeV. Do you guys remember this one? This was revealed a few years back, but recently we've heard a little bit more about it. This game looks really cool and also very weird. I think it's particularly the art style. The kids that you play as look kind of hyper real and a little bit unnerving, but you're in this crisp, bright, beautiful world, running around, exploring, and essentially catching Pokemon. It's kind of like a new Pokemon game for people who are tired of Pokemon or the Pokemon Company's antics and quality of the games from the last few years, with a completely different spin. Like, you're catching monsters and you're doing all that stuff, but there's still just like a full-on adventure game with combat and exploration and cities and gadgets and a lot of RPG elements, and it just seems really promising. When we got our first look at this, we were pretty surprised. It just looked completely unique. This is from Pearl Abyss, the developers behind Black Desert Online. And while it's great that we've heard about the game more recently, unfortunately, the fact is that it's not coming out anytime soon. It seems like it might be moved almost to 2025, 2026. The developers at Pearl Abyss are a little bit busier with another game we're going to talk about further down the line. But DokeV, we hope it really sticks around. It went silent for a while, but it is unique and we really want to see it. Next, over at number 4, we have Avowed. This is Obsidian's next big RPG. A lot of people think this is like Obsidian's version of Elder Scrolls or Skyrim. As you know, Obsidian back in the day worked on Fallout New Vegas and had an incredible spin on a Bethesda-style RPG. So now they're doing their completely own new thing. I mean, it is technically set in the universe of Pillars of Eternity, but like this is a new, unique fantasy RPG, specifically also with the style and tone to it. It's got kind of like a swashbuckling pirate flintlock pistol type thing crossed with fantasy swords and shields and knights. This is going to be an Xbox and PC exclusive game. As you know, Xbox owns everything at this point. But RPG fans of all kinds, shapes, and sizes have just loved Obsidian for a while, and we've been keeping our eye on Avowed because everything Obsidian really puts out is unique, and with them building new cool worlds like this, we just want to see them. No release date yet, but hopefully we don't have to wait too much longer. Next, over at number 3, we have Rise of the Ronin. This is another kind of Souls-like game from Team Ninja, the people behind the Nioh games, but this time around it's going totally open world. And in a cool and unique move for that studio in particular, it's moving more away from fantasy and setting itself particularly in war-torn 19th century Japan. They're not going for hyper-realism, you're still doing cool over-the-top attacks and stuff like that, but now you're doing it with guns and swords. And the setting just looks really unique. Even though we've seen other games kind of adjacent to this setting, how we see it here depicted like with the West's influence on this part of Japan, this region, just seems really cool, especially with the main character using gadgets to get around. Judging from the first reveal trailer and now a newer look at the game, I'm starting to think that this is going to be more than just another Souls-like or like Dark Souls in Japan. It's got some cool, unique spins on things, and it was just updated with a fresh release date. We're going to see it March 22nd, 2024. Now, down to number 2, we have Crimson Desert. This is the other game I mentioned earlier on that is by Pearl Abyss, the developers behind DokeV, but also, most importantly, Black Desert Online. This game apparently started as kind of a Black Desert Online expansion, but evolved into its own new thing. And it's just this cool single-player open-world action-adventure RPG. You build out your character, and you live in this world, and you do whatever you want. You're this mercenary on an adventure in a world filled with knights, soldiers, castles, but also creatures and monsters. So it's got a good element of fantasy to it, but the biggest thing for me is that like this world is going to be like a continent, and it is absolutely stunning. I mean, look at it. A lot of people are looking for like the next Witcher or something like that, and people are kind of looking at Crimson Desert. I think it's going to be a little bit different, but still from what we've seen, a lot of the freedom, the fact that you can pet cats, do all kinds of quests, have your character look really different, some really big creatures, and also some life simulation elements. We've seen like there's like a wanted system in the game, so hopefully there's room to cause a lot of chaos. Crimson Desert is absolutely gorgeous, but at this point, the developers have been working on it for a long time, and it seems like we might not see it until 2025. Still, if it feels unique, if it feels new and different, we're all about it. And we'll wait as long as it takes. But now, down at number 1, we have Light No Fire. This is a game from Hello Games, the developers behind No Man's Sky. Now, I know what you might be thinking. No Man's Sky in the early days made a lot of promises, and they didn't live up to them, frankly. The game for many years now has put its money where its mouth is and made and supported an incredible game, and No Man's Sky now is absolutely awesome, but behind the scenes they've also been working on this game, Light No Fire, and this is, they're calling it, not my words, the first like actual real open world game. Like this is an actual entire globe that you're going to be able to explore. Multiplayer, with other people just running around doing their own thing. You live in this world, you adventure, you quest, there's totally different regions, biomes, cultures from what we can see. You're camping, you're building, you're riding mounts and monsters. We don't know too much about this yet. The reveal trailer did look really impressive, but I still have that little bit of skepticism because the reveal trailer for No Man's Sky back in the day also looked really impressive, but I like the ideas they're talking about here. If they can pull this off, it will be exactly what the title of this video is. New open world games that are, you know, trying something a little different. If this is like an actual open world thing and like people are just playing in it and there can be a sense of community, that could be really cool. They've been working on this game for years apparently, but we don't know when we're actually gonna get our hands on it. Hopefully they don't overpromise, underdeliver. I'd like to see this time they do the opposite. But those are 10 brand new open world games that seem like they're trying something new or have a good spin on things. So let us know in the comments what you think. There are so many other games we couldn't fit in this list, of course, so let us know if you got your own top 5 or your own top 10 or something like that. We could probably do a part 2, but either way, let's talk about these games, and if you like what we do here, we just yap about games every single day. Clicking the like button does help us out. Thank you. And if you're new, consider subscribing and maybe hitting that notification bell because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.